Hello again, Gordon here with another Tech Time with Gordon. Today we're going to be talking about how to wipe out your device. Generally, we're at this stage if we are going to trade up from one device to another, so get rid of it. The other scenario is if your device has slowed down to a crawl, maybe you have been infected by a virus, and the only way to deal with it is wiping out your device completely. So I'm going to go over those steps with you today, so let's begin. Before we start, I'm going to just demonstrate why we are going to wipe out our device before trading up or potentially selling it or handing it off to someone else. The issue is if we do not wipe this out, all the information, which includes accounts, photos, maybe documentation, banking information, everything is on this device. And if I do not wipe this out, the issue is I'm not sure who else is going to have access to this material because it'll still be on here. So generally when we will start, we're going to look at backing up all our information. So before we wipe this out, we're going to make sure that all the data, which includes photos, documentation, anything that we think is precious to us, we're going to make sure that it's going to be moved. This can be as simple as moving it to a cloud storage device like iCloud. If you don't have a cloud service, you can always plug in your device to another and transfer it that way. Next, we will be looking at removing the SIM card. Generally, to remove a SIM card for like a mobile device such as my phone, we would pop the back and it'll be a little card. Other devices, sometimes it's along the edge that we can easily pull it out. SIM cards will have data in it, so generally we use it for extra storage space, so we put a lot on it. And it's very nice because we can remove it and plug it into our new device so we can transfer data that way as well. Next, we're going to make sure that we log off out of all of our services. So for Apple users, you're going to be looking at logging off your Apple ID account. For Android users, this is generally logging off of Google services, so your Google account. Now, if it is a mobile phone, generally you will have services with providers. So you're going to make sure that all the services that are for the specific device is going to be transferred over to your next device. Now that I've gone over the basics, let's kind of define different devices and how to wipe them out specifically. So let's start off with the Android device. So what I'm talking to you about today is if you're running a phone or tablet using 5.0 Lollipop or later. Anything older, unfortunately, you might have to do other things in order to wipe it out. It should be fairly simple, but if you're finding that the information that I'm providing you today doesn't match, it might be that you are running a earlier version of the operating software for Android. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to make sure that we turn off the lock screen. If we are selling this or transferring over to someone else, we want to make sure that the security features are no longer there. We don't want them coming back and saying everything's locked on us. So we're going to start off by going to our settings, going into security, going to lock screen security, and then for screen lock, we are just going to change it to none. So there's going to be no security in regards to this. Then we are going to look at removing our Google account. So again, making sure that Google is completely gone. So all our services that require Google are no longer going to be functioning. So we're going to go to our settings. Then we're going to go to our user and accounts. And then we're just going to remove the account that is tied, basically our account on the device. Now, if it's a Samsung device, you're also going to be looking at removing your Samsung account, which should be in a similar format to how we did the Google account. Next, we're going to go and wipe out our device using factory settings. So this is generally, again, in settings, and we're going to go back up and reset option. And then there's going to be factory reset. What factory reset will do is completely wipe out all the information on our phone. Once that's done, generally you can do another step if you'd like. This is where we would go into settings and we would go into encrypt phone. What this does is it kind of decrypts information, basically encrypts and decrypts information on our device. Basically makes it harder to identify the information, and then we would actually do stage or step 4 again, wipe it all out. This makes it very difficult to get any information from the device at all, but it is not necessary. So again, basically the 4 steps we're looking at is turning off our lock screen, making sure that we remove our Google account, and if we have a Samsung account, making sure that's removed as well. And then we're going to go into settings, and then we're going to look at doing a factory reset that will wipe out all our information. Next, we're going to be talking about Apple devices. So similar fashion to Android, I'm going to talk about devices for OS 5 or later. If you have something that's more ancient than what I'm talking about today, basically you'll find these instructions a little bit difficult to follow. However, similar steps should be taken when wiping out our device. So the first thing we're going to look at is unpairing other devices, then turning off Find My iPhone. Why we are turning off this feature of Find My iPhone. We're no longer tracking this, so because we're no longer tracking this, we should take it off. The other thing is why we're unpairing other devices. So this be as simple as if you have one of the iWatches, maybe you have like a keyboard or other peripheral devices that are all paired to it. Maybe you have a smart home and everything's tied to your phone. You just want to make sure that this is unpaired so the next user who has it doesn't have all your data that goes with these devices. So how we're going to look at this, we're going to go to settings, we're going to go under your name, and then we're going to go into iCloud, and specifically to find where my iPhone is, you'll see it, and then just change it from green to gray, which means it's no longer tracking this device. Next, we're going to turn off and sign out of other services on our device. This includes iMessage and the App Store. How we're going to do this is we're going to go to Settings, Message, and toggle the iMessage option. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to sign out of our iCloud completely. So we're going to head to our settings, go to iCloud, and find the sign out at the bottom of the page. So again, that concept of signing out of all our services, that's what we're going to do. After we sign out of all our services, we're going to start the wiping out process. This is easy. We go to settings, then go to general. There's a place called reset, and then we're going to select erase all content and settings, and then you're just going to confirm it, and then it's going to wipe out the device completely. So again, just what I explained right now. We're going to unpair other devices. So again, anything that's synced up to this. We are going to then sign out of all our services, which includes iMessenger, our App Store, and our iCloud or Apple ID account. And then we are going to look at the wipeout process by just going into our settings, general, reset, and then we're going to go erase all content and settings, and then we will have a completely erased device. Next, we're going to be talking about laptops and computers. This could either be Windows-based or Mac-based. I'm going to explain the differences. So for Windows-based, this is as simple as going to our Start menu. Then we're going to locate Settings. We're going to find Updates and Security, and then we're going to select Recovery. Next, we're going to see that we have 2 options, and we're going to select the Remove Everything option to make sure that remove all personal files, apps, and settings. So it's going to be completely wiped out, and then you're going to have a fresh restart. So whoever you're going to give this device to won't have anything about you. Now, you do have that secondary option of Keep My Files. This could be potentially useful if you're finding that there are some kind of issues with your device, whether there's some sort of complicated slowdown or maybe you have some kind of bug and you still want to keep most of your things. You don't want to do a complete wipeout. This will allow us to keep some of our personal files to ensure that some of those documentations or pictures are still on our device to do a fresh restart for ourselves. When we're talking about Mac, we're simply going to go to our disk utility. If you're not sure where this is located, one thing you can do is you can restart your device, and by pressing Command and R keys together, you will get to disk utility. There we're going to search up the tab, the Erase tab, and then we're going to go into the security options, and then we're going to click on 7-pass erase. This is going to remove everything on the device and completely give us a fresh machine to use. That concludes how to wipe out your device. In this presentation, I've talked about Apple, Android, and Windows-based machines. All of them have similar commonalities, which includes you want to make sure that your data, the stuff that you want to save, such as your photos and documents, are backed up in some fashion. So whether this is moved to another device, on a external storage, or up in a cloud somewhere, you just want to make sure it's safe before completely doing a wipeout. You're going to log off all your account information, and then if you have a device that has a SIM card or some kind of external drive, you want to make sure that that's removed as well. And by doing all these steps, you're ensuring that there's nothing left of you on this device, and you can either take it to the e-waste dump or sell it or whatever you want to do, knowing that anything that was on here that belonged to me is completely gone. If you haven't watched my last video, please click the link above. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe here to keep up to date with content that we are delivering. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Have a nice day. Bye for now.